and welcome back to the B-Side Boys stream. We are just getting near kickoff here for Iowa men in the white and Ohio men in the red here. Ohio, I do not believe, brought a team last year, and Iowa, I believe, went 0-2, so one of these teams will be getting their first win. One of these teams will get their first win in the past couple of years.
And then the sun came out.
As Iowa gets ready to kick off. This is Ben Deegan on commentary, joined by my wife, Anna Deegan.
Hello, everyone.
And that's a quickly mishandled ball off the kickoff by Ohio. As I make sure the camera zoom is correct. And a quick kick by Ohio to clear that ball out. Takes a bounce. Not what you want to let happen as Iowa. But we gather and begin attacking wide side. And that looks like a quick line break for Iowa. Gets the offload back in.
A solid counter ruck on Ohio.
However,
gets the turnover.
Yeah, no rucker there by Iowa. And that breakaway turns into a turnover as we get called for not releasing the ball. Still, I really like the energy Iowa comes out with there. Seems like we might have a speed advantage, judging by the early minutes of this game, and looks like we're going to try and use it.
A solid kick for touch here. A really good kick for touch here.
And if you're just joining the stream, we will be biased for Iowa during this. So apologies in advance. We got to represent the home crowd here as Ohio gets a quick throw in on this line out. Iowa not able to actually defend. And here comes a pretty well run back play from Ohio. Not quite a line break, but they do gain some meters.
Swinging the ball out wide. Oh, knocked forward by Ohio.
And that's going to be scrum advantage to Iowa as we set up a new play off this ruck. And that is...
They'll come back for the advantage here.
Charge down right away, so they'll just give us the advantage.
First scrum, setting the tone here.
You learn a lot off the first scrum, I feel like.
Ryan Gray out there hooking. Shout out Ryan Gray, B-Side boy himself.
It looks like Iowa probably has the weight difference favor in this scrum here. Though neither team's super big in the scrum. So we'll see how they drive and how low they get. And that's a good punch from Ohio. Yeah. Iowa manages to hold
down
and gets ball out.
Good swing and getting it wide.
Sunday.
Chip and chase. Ooh.
Jacob Sunday takes the ball with great pace. Looks for the grubber.
Coming back, it looks like, for something, though.
Does not get it. And I wonder what we're coming back for here.
Is that a flag up? Were they out? Looks like they were out. And this will be a line out here.
Yep. Looks like Jacob Sunday stepped out. Still a good take. I like the pace he had there. And I'm expecting probably another quick throw from Ohio. Hopefully Iowa gets a jumper up to contest. And we do, but well executed by Ohio. No, called not straight. So that will get to be Iowa throw. Actually, Iowa is going to elect to take the scrum option. They must have liked how that last one went, because we're doing it again.
Sets the tone. See if the pack can get a good push. Can counter Ohio's push on this one.
I'm eager to see the backline play Iowa has cooked up here. That last one looked like it was really close to working. I imagine they're going to try something similar with Sunday attacking the wide side of the field. And there's a shooter on defense there. As Jacob Sunday gets ball, makes a couple men miss, and has a line break opportunity as we flip the field here. And looks like it will be stalled just past the 50 as Iowa gets their own ruck and looks to spin it to the forwards.
Oh, actually our penalty here.
I believe not rolling away.
We'll go quick
on Ohio. Goes quick. Immediately brought down for the Iowa team.
Oh, that's a good hit.
strong defense coming out from Ohio early on in this game. They are not letting the forwards gain much momentum. And Iowa has the overload here as they look to use it with a skip. And ball gets to Julian Hall, who recycles ball.
Owen McGuffin there with the pass out. Oh, that's a great hit.
Absolutely thumped by this Ohio defensive line. They're coming up hard and together, making it difficult to find easy openings.
This will probably be a how patient can we be on offense kind of game here.
We've done a good job of keeping possession so far, as we almost lose ball with a tough offload, but is handled by Iowa. Oh, and that looks like a good counter by Ohio.
And a penalty on Iowa.
Iowa got a little lazy in that ruck. Ohio waited for their opportunity, and they capitalized as they're going to look for touch here on this penalty kick.
And
just barely out into touch. Almost brought in by Iowa in play.
It looks like we got a player down on the side.
And it looks like time is going to be off here as we have an Iowa player down. And it looks like Ryan Gray at hooker.
Yeah.
Maybe not well hydrated enough, maybe a little cramp going on. Happens when you get that age. And we're just going to go to a little break graphic here and should hopefully be back in a couple minutes once this injury time is off. All right, and play is back on as
Ohio wins the line out.
And they are immediately surging, but they looks like they knock it forward with a mishandled ball there. They're coming with a lot of pace there, though. But it will be Iowa scrum for the third time this game already. As Iowa gives a split back look off the scrum. Looking to gauge the defense, see where the hole is, and then attack that side.
I'd like to see what our back line can do off of this scrum here. See if we can't get some momentum going.
As Ohio gets a strong push off that scrum, but we managed to gather it. And that was knocked forward by Iowa.
Will
Kicked
that go
by
out
Ohio.
the back? Yes, right out the back.
Close break there for Iowa. A mishandled ball was kicked in open play and almost gathered by Ohio, just a little too far by the Ohio kicker. I believe we'll come back to a scrum where the ball was kicked.
And the Iowa scrum here.
Oh, it is Iowa scrum, despite the knock-on. So that's a close one for Iowa. And hopefully they adjust accordingly on this play. Ohio's doing a good job of shooting up hard on defense, making it hard to get that ball outside, where our wingers are really taking the ball with pace and gaining ground early on. Yep, and that's
a penalty here.
Looked like Hannah, you're the experienced scrummer.
It looked like the scrum collapsed straight down on the tight head.
What she
or on the
said.
loose head here on Ohio.
And that is a absolute bomb into touch, and it
Right
hit a
on the
bam in the
windshield.
windshield. Did not crack it. But it will be Iowa's line out.
No Ryan Gray here, so we'll see who can step up.
Boys, hey, don't be a punt. Spread. Good, Liam. Start spread. Get off that punt. Start spread.
Some good line out comms here. Iowa going with the 5-man line out, jumping the back one.
And
Good
that's
tip
a
here.
pretty well executed line out. Not
little bit
handled well afterwards.
Great
As
drive.
Ohio's really putting their all into trying to strip the ball out of contact here, but good hands by the Iowa runners.
They're really committing to these counter rucks too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's Ohio's getting a little aggressive on these counter rucks. Defender had not rolled away yet, or the tackler had not. And that is going to be another penalty for Iowa. And another absolute bomb that is actually just
fine
barely
touch.
touch. Had me scared with the wind for a second there.
Down in Ohio's territory, we'll see if we can actually convert here. See if we can get the ball down to the back line.
Both teams looking to draw first blood right now. Iowa's knocked on the gore a couple times. Nothing quite yet. See if we can get a cleaner line out ball. And that is a bullet right to the jumper. Iowa gets ball.
McGuffin here with the take. Good ruck clear out by Iowa. Getting the ball wide. See if we can't find space here. Julian Hall on the side. Oh, and lost by Iowa.
Not sure where we lost that, but somehow Ohio came up with it in one of those rucks. And looks like they're looking for the counterattack. They might look for another clearing kick like they did last time. And here it comes. And well defended by Iowa as we were ready for that. Oh.
Finds touch.
Finds touch. Elects not to take it quick either. So that
They
will
had
be
the
Iowa.
guys there too.
That will be Iowa line out. But defensively, you just want to maybe try to keep that in, immediately regain the meters instead of having to win a line out and fight for them through the defense. Oh. As that is gonna be an option of a line out or a scrum to Ohio now, as that throw is not straight. And it looks like they are going to elect to throw in their own line out. They're confident in their ability.
Still a scoreless game here. We'll see who can punch it in first. Oh,
And
great line out.
well executed by Ohio. Let's see the backline play, as they really like that 14 winger to keep ball.
Look at it. Oh, knocked forward by Ohio. Iowa scrum here.
Now, if you're Ohio, what you really want to not do is another scrum penalty. You got to adjust to how the ref's calling the scrum. And if you just keep giving Iowa penalties over and over on these scrums, it can get out of hand really fast.
We'll see if they can. It looked like that penalty came from this near side prop.
I get that you want to be aggressive in these defensive scrums, but at a certain point, it's a losing battle and you just got to let it go. Seems like
Holding
mainly
a
an
bit
early
better
drive.
here. Great drive by Ohio.
And that's another
Another
eight-man
eight-man
pick. And this is
Finding space.
a good line break opportunity. Gets the ball to Julian Hall.
Julian supporting.
Ooh,
Great
who is
hit.
wall up from behind. Didn't see the defender coming. But manages to hold ball, recycle. And that is
Finding space. This 8-man again finding work.
Oh, and that one's going to be forward. No, it is not. Ooh. And it is gathered by Jacob Suddenly and brought in.
And Iowa punches it in first. Iowa for 5.
I think we may have gotten a tad bit lucky with that one. That one,
A
Could have been called either way.
A little forward.
But 5 points is 5 points, and Iowa draws first blood there. Oh, some great work by the 8-man for Iowa there.
He went and
Both
found
sides
work.
of the field.
Yeah, he went
Had a
and
great
found
carry
work.
and then was there for the
Got the ball
offload.
in space. Looked great.
As this kick is dead on,
Well, we know they're not givens,
and that's a nice
depending
little chip.
who's the kicker.
In about 15 minutes in the game, Iowa is up 7-0.
He did make it. Yep.
Sure. I mean, now that Nova's out of it, I'd like the Hounds are still playing for 1 or 2 home playoff matches. So.
And Ohio prepares for the kick here. This is their first kickoff of the game. And they look for a deep one back right to Jacob Sunday, who looks
Kicks
for the return
back.
kick straight into touch, but he was behind the 22, so it'll be a line out to Ohio. Seems just shy of Iowa's 40. That is a successful lineup by Ohio. Immediately fed to the back line.
Moving the ball well. A little mishandle there. Gathers it. Gonna keep working the ball into space. A nice offload there by the tight head.
Iowa looks overloaded to the near side. Ohio's gonna try and get it, but
Another mishandle.
Ohio not knocking them, but killing a lot of their momentum with some of these mishandled balls right now.
Some gritty, hard-nosed rugby here to come back. We'll see if they can get the. Ooh.
Keeper by the fullback here with the dummy.
Two defense. Oh,
Two tackles
great
up.
offload
Ooh.
there. Wow.
And that
is
is
an Ohio try.
That is pretty tremendous play from Ohio's fullback on that one.
Great offload there. Good support line by the 13.
I think he made 2 defenders miss, then
Yeah.
committed the fullback and made a terrific
offload.
offload and an easy try for the.
Looks like
Second
they'll
player.
converse here to see if that was forward.
Looks like the AR might have saw something on that one.
A forward pass that close ends up being a 5-meter scrum, right, Sir Benny?
Correct, it does. No,
And
the
they'll
try
call the
is
try.
called. Try is called. As Ohio is going to look to chip this one in and tie the game up.
So far, a pretty evenly matched game here.
Yeah, neither team seemed too dominant. Both teams have had a couple big line breaks.
Oh, and blocked!
And that Ohio kicker,
Blocked!
that's why even dead on, they're not always guaranteed. He maybe should have
They're
backed.
not.
He maybe should have backed up
They're
a little
not.
bit. Didn't realize there's
I think he was
two
hoping to catch him off guard. And they were ready. Iowa was ready.
2 big locks from Iowa, threw their hands up and absolutely stuffed that one. So Iowa will actually stay in the lead here 5-7 as we're about halfway through this first half.
So were those sticks
White line. Yeah. Yeah, he went out of bounds. He went out of bounds, but they gave it to him because he didn't
Deep
know they
kick
would.
here by
Because I've heard it
Iowa.
2 different times.
And it's gathered by the fullback for Indiana. He's got
A little bit of a step there.
little bit of a goose step on him.
Good forward momentum here by the tight head for Ohio.
And looking for the clearing kick. And this one should be gathered well by Iowa. And maybe a return kick looking. No, it looks like he's going to carry. And
Little slip there.
jukes himself out a little bit. Maybe gets held up here. No.
He'll
Manages to
find
get a
it.
knee down. So Iowa retains possession. Ohio continues to be aggressive around these rucks, looking for poach opportunities.
A good hold there by the 10, but a great shoot by Ohio's defense.
And they're really keeping our offense inside the hashes. They don't really want us to get this ball to the wing, and they're doing a pretty good job of it for the most part.
Ohio is shooting tremendously on defense right now.
You've got to think one of these times Iowa's got to be looking for maybe some sort of skip or chip directly to the winger when Ohio's shooting like that to punish them, but it's difficult with this wind against the Iowa team right now. Maybe second half, that's something they'll be looking at. Oh, that looks like it could be a good poach. No.
Iowa penalty off his feet in the ruck.
Off his feet.
Let's go.
Will remain Iowa ball. A couple Iowa guys down, a little tired.
Iowa slowing it down here.
As the kick chasers prepare. And that one is
Will find touch.
well into touch, into the parking
Won't
lot.
find a windshield this time.
And they're going to need a new ball for that.
I'll go grab that one.
As our co-commentator is going to vacate the back of the pickup truck we're in and go get that ball. Iowa looking for another good line out here. They've been working pretty well for them. And a second pod jump swatted by Ohio, but they do not get their hands on it enough, and we still gather ball. Looks like we kicked away the advantage. Their fullback received it and pretty good kick return. Gets it about to the 50 before it was brought down by Jacob Sunday. And that looks like a good poach for Iowa.
It is. The
Good
flanker
turnover.
in there.
I believe the rucker from Ohio overshot the ruck, and he just got to walk in and take that ball for free. We have the ball now back around Ohio's 40-meter line.
Let's see what Iowa can set up here.
You really want to punish Ohio here. It looks like we maybe have an overload on this near side. Julian Hall's calling for the ball.
Looking for space.
Long
McGuffin here to Julian.
Not a great pass.
Mishandled.
Knocked by Julian Hall.
And he finds touch.
Found touch
The flanker finds touch.
just before he could offload it. That could have gotten scary for Iowa for a second.
Yes.
But that mishandled ball will cost them possession.
A little bit of discussion going on in here. And it looks like it will be an Iowa scrum here on the 5-meter.
No, it'll be an Ohio scrum here. I believe
I'm a liar.
the AR did see the knock before
Finding touch.
So it will be a scrum to Ohio. Iowa players running in, did not realize that.
It's Elijah Freary from Quad Cities.
And that is
A collapse here again on this tight head. Something to keep an eye on here. Iowa's tight head and Ohio's loose head.
Oh, and that's a strong run by the wing for Ohio.
And it will be knocked forward.
He had a good run, had the line break, looked for the offload to the fullback on Ohio, but just not handled well enough, and now it'll be Iowa's turn.
A little bit of sloppy rugby here the last few minutes. We'll see who can calm the nerves
Good inside ball.
and start capitalizing here off of mistakes. See if Iowa can strike. Big strum here. Iowa overloading this near side.
They've still got Jacob Sunday there on the far side for the one-on-one option if they want it. Let's see if they
Big
do.
scrum push by Ohio and gets the penalty. Gets the penalty for the scrum wheel.
The aggressiveness is paying off for them. They managed to bring down the penalties, and they've kept that same intensity on the drive, and now they're going to have an opportunity to line out pretty deep into Iowa territory.
So Ohio's knocking on the door here.
That looks like a line out to Ohio just around the 10-meter mark. you're Iowa, this is where you really have to buckle down. You can force a turnover here. It's really big.
Get your big men on their big men and see who can gut it out.
You want to be aggressive on the poaches here as well. You're hoping Ohio has another one of those mishandled balls they've been struggling with. Or we could just win the line out.
Fighting for the ball in there. We'll see who comes up with it. It looks like Iowa.
I believe Ohio's throw soared over the top of their jumping pod and wound up in the Iowa back pod's hands.
We'll see what Iowa can do to get the ball out of their own
Looks
territory.
like clearing kick coming. And that is a deep kick against the wind. Makes it from the goal line all the way to the 50. As they're going to swing it out wide. And they have an overload here. Oh, that is forward.
A little forward.
That was definitely forward.
Definite forward pass.
But the official
AR
did
not
not
in
see it.
position to see it.
But unfortunately for
Finds
Ohio.
touch though. Finds touch.
Looks like
We
Ohio.
can't see everything. Can't see everything on the field, but
It looked like a strong run by Ohio's winger, who once again went for an offload to the 15, mishandled again, and knocked into touch. So Iowa will either get a line out or scrum. They're choosing the
deep in
line
their
out.
territory. So again, we'll see what Iowa can do with their backs against the wall here.
I'm betting another clearing kick's coming, but I think they're just going to have to do a little bit of a better job pursuing that kick return. Can't let them get all the way back to the goal line again.
Oh, mishandled ball by Iowa deep in their territory. That's an Ohio scrum here.
That is a costly penalty you have to avoid if you're Iowa here. Gives up possession right at the 5-meter mark. And this is going to be a dangerous scrum for Iowa. Ohio's probably going to look to force a penalty in this scrum.
And see if they can't go quick. See what we can do with our backs against the wall here, but
without the last scrum win, that's
this
what
will
I'd
be
do.
a little difficult.
They do have the
Ball's
one-on-one.
out quick. Gets it to the 10.
They've got a loop coming.
The 12 will take it.
in-center
Oh, a
keeps it.
great positive tackle by Iowa.
It's driven back about 5 meters. Gives Iowa a little breathing room here as they're coming up very hard on defense. And you're hearing those ready calls and those balls out calls from the Iowa defense. They're coming up as one unit very hard right now.
Yes.
Really making Ohio work this one. And it looks like they're going to keep trying to swing it. No, they reverse field direction and go back to the far side. But again, swallowed up by Iowa. And here
There's
comes
that shifty fullback again for Ohio.
and Ohio's fullback tried another goose step there. And he's probably going to feel that tomorrow. I'll maybe think twice about the next time.
So far, Iowa not faltering here on this defensive line. Oh, we'll see here.
And that
Another
is
mishandled ball. Oh.
and out of bounds for Ohio. Another scoring opportunity, but Ohio lost because of a failed offload. They probably had 3 or 4 of those ones that were pretty threatening at this point.
A lot of points left on the board here, I'd say.
The scramble defense for Iowa is not ideally what you want to do, but it's working in this situation.
We'll be met with a scrum deep in our territory. We'll see what.
I'm betting we're looking at probably another clearing kick for Iowa if they have the room. Or else we may be possibly looking at an 8-man pick and go to get a little space and then look for a clearing kick.
He's been kind of dangerous on those 8-man picks.
And that is an 8-man
what
pick.
We'll get.
And they're just going
Owen
for
McGuff
a
in here turning upfield, carrying a couple guys with him.
full-on backline play.
Finding some space. A mishandled ball by the scrum half from Iowa.
And
So we'll get an Ohio scrum here.
if you're Iowa, you got to be thinking, how many times can we get lucky, knock it on our own 10-meter line, and not give up points? Sooner or later, they're going to put one of these in. Iowa's really got to clean up that aspect of the game. And again, if I'm Ohio, I'm probably looking at this weak side. That number 11 for Ohio has been a very strong runner.
Yes.
I think they like his odds in a one-on-one scenario. But we'll see how they react here. He's got a lot of space.
Got to get a big push off this scrum here, holding the ball in well.
And it does go to the wide side. As they run a strong line with the center, brought down immediately. And And then try it again. Good step by the 12, but regathered by additional Iowa defenders.
Ohio's knocking. Ohio's knocking on the door.
And Iowa's going to have another great stand here if they're going to keep Ohio off the scoreboard anymore.
A held up try by Iowa. Iowa holds this one up.
Iowa hanging on by the skin of their teeth, but it's working on these defensive stands.
You've got to be getting tired if you're Iowa playing a lot of defense inside your 10 meters.
Definitely. As they go for the goal line drop, and it does clear heads. That should buy Iowa a little time on the chase. Julian Hall looking for the one-on-one tackle here. And he unfortunately does not make it.
Oh, another mishandle by Ohio.
It was backwards for Ohio though, so their winger did get it, and they will keep ball. And this is a potential scoring opportunity here for Ohio as they make a line break, get the offloads.
Oh, and that 10 was shifty. Offloads it again to the tight or the loose head here for Ohio, and they'll find 5.
Strong play by Ohio's 10 there. He went for the dummy, committed a defender, and made the offload.
Very good offload there.
And, you know, if you're Iowa, one of those was coming sooner or later.
You can only play so much defense inside your 10. A lot of hands on knees here. If
Both
you're
teams.
Iowa, you got to catch your breath.
Both teams
Figure out
are
how
pretty
to answer
tired.
Here.
As we'll see if Ohio's fly half can fix his mistake from last time and make this kick. Doesn't seem too difficult with the wind at his back.
A solid back and forth game otherwise here.
Neither team showing huge advantage, though. The last 10 or 15 minutes has been a lot of possession for Ohio, and not a lot for Iowa, as that kick is drilled between the posts, and we are looking at a 12-7 game, Ohio's lead.
You'd think Iowa in the second half, after playing a lot of defense here, might be a little tired once we hit halftime. We'll see how they can recover at half. Maybe make some sub changes, get fresh legs in there, and see what we can do to keep knocking on the door, keep answering. We'll see who steps up here now that Iowa's down, who steps up and starts carrying the team a little bit.
As Jacob Sunday's looking for a pretty quick kick, and that has some nice height on it, gathered right away by Ohio. And not held, but then brought down a second time, the ball carriers.
Another clearing kick. Ohio likes this kick game today.
It's a nice high one. Jacob Sunday gathers it. Let's see if, looks like he wants to take this one on his own, and he might.
A nice offload out there. See if we can't get support back out there.
Trying to stay in bounds, we do. So Ohio's gonna have the ball here around the 10-meter line with a good opportunity to take the lead.
We'll see what Iowa can find here deep in Ohio's territory.
They've got a full back line set up, and they're going to use it. Looks like there's the offload. Number 17 on his own, but the Rutgers do make it there in time. Iowa has advantage, and that is
Looks like the 10 will find
scored by
it.
Jesse the 10.
Iowa ties it up here. 12 all.
That is a good team play right there. A full back line used.
Set up really well with that solid carry off the kick by Jacob Sunday.
That was. And Iowa immediately regains the lead. If they, actually it's a tie, unless they make this kick, which will be difficult from the posts.
Couple subs here for Iowa. Oh, nope, just some water.
The wind is against him on this one. See if he can convert his own try.
Do you think this 60-second timer factors into kicks anymore?
Depends on the serve, I find. Sometimes when I'm reffing, I just make it up.
Ooh, he
And
finds
that is
it. He finds it.
Terrific kick.
Puts Iowa up 14-12.
That was not an easy one. Those are
No.
2 hard-earned points. As Iowa will get to receive this kick and hopefully press their advantage again.
see what Iowa can do off the kickoff here. A little bit of sub action on Ohio's side. Getting some fresh legs out here.
And reminder, our time is not the official time, but we believe there's about 6 minutes left in the game. Or in the half, that is. As we'll see if Ohio goes for another deep kick, or if they're going to be a little more aggressive and try and do a short kick and recover it themselves.
I think if you're Ohio, you want to give yourself every opportunity to get on offense here.
You do have the wind at your back. So the field, there is an argument for field position, but either way, Iowa recovers.
A strong carry by that 5. And knocked forward.
Looked like
off
he
of
tried.
That reestablish.
He tried to release and pick it up himself and continue the carry, but ended up with a knock.
Knocking it forward here.
Ohio's going to be happy with that one. Looks like they've got the wide side of the field to what has been their strong side on these backline plays.
They've been capitalizing well off these scrums here, so we'll see what they can set up. Looks like a full backline here to this near side.
Yep, they're even pulling the far side wing, putting him in the pocket of the fly half right now as Iowa begins to adjust defensively.
Oh, and a mishandled ball by the scrum half out of the scrum. If you're Iowa, you're breathing a sigh of relief right now.
And that is, let me tell you as a backline player, that is a momentum deflator.
That is.
When you're sitting there planning your backline play, you're already thinking
Yes.
about what you're going to do when you're in the try zone,
Oh,
and then
yes.
ball doesn't even make it to you.
And as a forward, I'm loving that if I'm in that scrum there. The momentum shift that being able to get our own scrum back here, that'll be huge. We'll see what Iowa can do to capitalize off of this here. Solid scrum here. Ohio with a great push. Ohio with a really good push here.
And it's going to be
And
Ohio
it's going to be
ball.
one.
Ball is
Ohio
out.
ball out of the scrum, but another knock, another mishandle off the back of that scrum. 2 in a row for Ohio.
Unbelievable. They dominate
Wow.
2 scrums in a row, including
Just
a defensive one.
Can't seem to pull the ball out of the back of that scrum here.
They're struggling with the basics.
Looks like we've got an Iowa player down here.
Yes, we do. Looks like he maybe looks like a cramp. Looks like they're stretching him out. Probably something got bent a little bit the wrong way in that scrum, and they help him right back up.
Perhaps some stick-em going on the hands at halftime here for
the
Ohio
halves.
scrum half.
Ohio. And looks like the Iowa player pops right back up and does not go
Everybody
up for a
will
sub.
regroup here, and we'll get right back into the action with an Iowa scrum.
If you're Iowa, you really just got to start thinking about these scrums and how little you want to do them.
Yes.
And how you just want to get the ball out as fast as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to look to cause any Ohio penalties or
Yes.
anything like that.
If I'm that Iowa 8-man, he's been finding success on these 8-man picks here. Another one here for him.
He's a strong
Swallowed
runner.
up by the scrum half.
And
Jacob Sunday here.
Sunday with some speed does
A little
ooh,
shifty, stays in bounds, carrying a couple guys with him.
forces 3 defenders and
Iowa penalty.
gets a penalty. Looks like the 8-man wanted to take it quick. They decide better, and they're going to go for touch here. Another strong carry by Jacob Sunday.
Now with Iowa knocking on Ohio's door.
With just under 5 minutes in the half here. Iowa would really like some points going into half, and then they'll have the wind at their back in the second half.
Would be a huge momentum carrier into half.
It always takes so much more effort to come back with the wind against you,
Oh,
I've always
yes.
said.
Especially with Ohio trying to use that kick game early.
Makes those clearing kicks a lot more difficult.
Little bit messy off that line out for Iowa, and Ohio will find it.
They had the initial line out one, could not get it handled after it's sent back to the scrum half. And Ohio is looking to punish an Iowa mistake here. It looks like a pretty big gap. Julian Hall.
13. Oh, a solid dummy there, and another Ohio mishandle.
Julian Hall missed the tackle initially, but came running back and was able to
Another sigh of relief here for Iowa.
Was able to stop the potential try and force a knock on. A good play, way to not give up by Julian Hall there.
I think if you're Iowa here, you're breathing a sigh of relief off of that line break, but another scrum is not the most ideal thing here with the way Ohio's been driving these scrums this first half. Definitely something to look at going into halftime, going into the second half. How can Iowa regroup on these scrums? Get momentum moving forward. Another beautiful drive here by Ohio. Iowa gets the ball out here. Owen McGuffin back to the 10.
And that play is just stuffed by Ohio. And they're going to get the
Ohio
turnover.
penalty. And they'll go quick. They'll go quick.
Jacob Sunday's going to get another penalty here by not going back 10. I think he did it on purpose, though.
Ohio with the try, it looks like. Couldn't hear a whistle, but the hand went up.
Yep. It's going to be points for Ohio and a few costly, sloppy mistakes to end this half for Iowa.
The scrums have been a tale of two stories here in this first half. Ohio finding a lot of success after that early penalty off of the scrums. Regrouped, found a way to get that drive moving forward in Iowa. Definitely something to address at halftime. How can we get our feet back under us in these scrums here?
I think this may be halftime after this conversion. Iowa charges down, but it is good.
And that will be half.
Going into half, 19 Ohio, 14 Iowa. Close game, still anybody's game at this point. And we're going to take a little break here, and we will be back in about 5 minutes. Stay tuned. are back here at the Thunderbird Cup. Ohio leading Iowa going into half 19-14. Iowa will be receiving the kick here to start.
Ben, if you're Ohio coming out of half, what's your biggest takeaway from that first half? What are you talking to your players about?
I think they're getting a little too aggressive on their line breaks and some of the offloads. It's only paid off probably once, and they probably had 5 or 6 line breaks at this point. They could have been converted to tries if they were a little more patient. So I think I'd stress that. And if I'm Iowa, we're just talking about mishandled balls at this point. I mean, there's been probably borderline 10 costly turnovers where Iowa's either had ball in their own 5-meter line or the other team's 22 and has turned it over in a ruck penalty or a bad knock or a mishandled ball. So I think that's what they're going to be looking at as we get kicked off here.
Oh, Ohio gets in there. Ohio gets in there, gets their own kickoff. That is huge to start the second half here. A lot of momentum coming off of that.
Oh, and then an Ohio line break.
Oh, but a mishandled ball.
But I think...
And Iowa will come away with that.
And again, another line break that Ohio
mishandles
and turns over that could have led them to a very easy try in a few more phases with patience.
Iowa, again, story of the first half, being backed up along their own try line. They'll get the penalty here. But if you're Iowa, you've got to be trying to push that ball forward, trying to stop playing defense with your backs against the wall here.
Well, now they've got the wind to their back. Let's see if they can get some good distance.
Great kick here.
That's some good territory gained. Goes into
That'll
the
be
other
huge.
field.
See what we can convert off of that. What we can get moving here on offense. I'm not seeing too many subs here on the Iowa side coming out of half, but a couple here for Ohio. So we'll see how the legs are feeling, see who's gonna start backing down first. This line out will be huge for Iowa. We'll see what we can do off of this.
Did not get as much territory off that kick as I initially thought.
Oh, and a not straight call, I'm gonna guess. Yep. And Ohio will take that scrum. If you're Ohio, you're chomping at the bit to take that scrum. After watching your success coming off those scrums in the first half.
I think they're gonna come out very aggressively on this first scrum.
See what the back line can get doing. If they can get settled down, get the ball coming straight into their hands.
Looks like the Ohio 12 is about even with the 10. They're probably going to use him as some sort of a dummy runner for a pocket pass, if I had to guess. So you got to be aware of that if you're Iowa. Goes...
Oh,
and
maybe just a little out of position.
Yeah.
Oh, they got lucky with that one there.
Ended up just kind of backpedaling. As
Another
Ohio
mishandled ball by Ohio. Sunday here.
makes sure he gets a little
Great
lower on the
defense.
tackle.
Yeah.
Offsides called on Iowa.
Ohio kick for touch here.
And that's going to stay in.
Oh, doesn't find
Gathered
it.
by
yes.
Jacob Sunday, steps the first defender, and the second, also the third.
Sunday really.
The fourth as well.
Really
It is the fifth defender, brings him down.
finding success off of those kicks is Sunday. Iowa really fighting in that ruck there. It's a little bit of a forward pass. Yep.
And that's
Iowa
just
with another costly turnover here.
improper spacing by the Iowa backline there.
The last thing you want to do if you're Iowa right now is give Ohio another scrum. They're finding success off of these scrums, really getting a good drive, getting in there, hitting hard, getting that initial pop, and finding a good drive off of these scrums. So give their backline some space.
I had large. I had they used to wear the mediums, and those are just.
Balls out the back.
Better drive by Iowa there. As they run a pretty good pocket play, getting the ball to space, get the offload.
That shifty 15 again, and oh, he'll find touch.
I believe that is Lucas Powley at fullback just barely drags him to touch after a good offload and good backline play by Ohio. Iowa manages to hold on.
Ohio's fullback himself has been quite a shifty, quick player.
He is doing a good job. He's causing a few problems for this Iowa defense, and is pretty much single-handedly responsible for their first try.
Iowa's back's against the wall here.
And this
We'll
looks
jump
like
the back pod here, a little bit over the top, but handled by Iowa. Great counter ruck there by Ohio, and that ball's out. Ohio with that ball, but an Iowa penalty here. Diving over the ruck. So we see if Iowa can find touch here on the kick.
And
No!
they will not, but it does get over the back of the head.
Takes a nice Iowa bounce here. We'll see if it can stay out of that try zone. It does.
So now we've got him pinned pretty far back. Probably not what we meant to do, but it seems like it worked out.
Let's see what Ohio can do here to get that ball.
We're doing a
Moving
good job.
forward.
A good job in open play, keeping the ball alive here for Ohio. And now we bring him down.
Ohio going to settle into their system here a little bit.
Uh-oh. And this is a dangerous line break from an 8-man.
Great tackle by the Iowa fullback.
Great job by Lucas Powley there, taking a big hit, forcing a turnover, and it looks like we are going back to the knock that Lucas Powley forced.
That's a good try-saving tackle. 15 on an 8. Not something you want to see probably as a 15, right, Ben? An 8-man coming at you with
That's
a
the
full head of
last thing
seam.
I think I ever want to see. Because sometimes with the prop line breaks, they're bigger, but they don't get to the same top speed that some of these 8-men get to. And
A full head of steam coming at you with an agile 8-man.
Ohio's 8-man is not a small fellow.
No.
But two try-saving plays in a row by Lucas Powley here, putting him work at the fullback position.
That comes with a lot of trust out of your other players, knowing you've got him back there.
And that is an early drive attempt.
Iowa penalty. They'll go quick. The 8-man with the ball here. Looking for space. He'll get the ball to Owen McGuffin. Swings it out here to Sunday. Sunday again finding space here. Throwing off one. Throwing off two. See what
Maybe
Iowa can do.
offsides by the defender.
And then
for Ohio
knocked
there.
ball by Iowa here.
Close to offsides, but not quite, says the ref. And that will be a knock-on by Iowa.
Iowa's got to be their own worst enemy right now.
With how aggressively these Ohio defenders are coming up, I think Iowa needs to be getting more depth on their first receiver.
Yes.
I think that's what screwed them over right there.
Yeah.
And now we are once again to Ohio scrum.
Iowa making a sub here. Elijah Fury coming off. We'll bring on Eric Frana here
Eric Frana.
to flank. See what kind of energy Frana can bring.
Looks like
Say it, Ben.
he got a new haircut.
You wanted to say it.
Just for this game. Wanted to make sure he looked very good on the flanker spot there.
Yes. Is that the best hair in all of Iowa, Ben?
Hard to say. As Ohio, no issue, manages to swing it all the way out to the wing. Gets an offload there, but it looks like they mishandled
Another knocked
ball
ball here.
and knock it.
So no stick 'em at halftime for Ohio.
Does not seem so.
It looks like the biggest momentum killer right now for both teams is just mishandled balls and knocks in off of big plays too.
You know, they're trying to be fancy a little bit. They want the big 60-meter tries with 3 offloads. And they want them a little too bad, I think.
As a forward, coming down the pipe of a game, I'm getting a little frustrated if I got to keep packing down in a scrum.
I imagine
Especially against this Ohio scrum here. I'd be a little upset trying to keep packing down against this.
It's that.
Mishandle off of that scrum there by the scrum half, but well, oh no.
And then another mishandled ball
no.
by Iowa. Lucas Powley gathers it and smartly decides just to go down.
Great
but
clear out.
unfortunately
Oh, no.
not cleared out in time. And that is a turnover to Ohio, who swings it to the wide side of the field.
And
knocks it
another
in.
knocked ball.
I think by scrum 10,
Oh,
the smell gets unbearable.
Yeah. At that point, I'm saying, at what point can we switch to the back scrumming? The forwards want out. No.
Man, can we just make it a penalty?
If I'm winning these scrums here, I'm loving packing down. But right now, it's a whole story of Ohio's just out driving Iowa.
And time is called off by the referee as Ohio's out center is laying down for a little bit, rolling around the
Wondering
field.
if we got another cramp
And their in
here.
center is taking both his cleats off.
Oh,
The centers for Ohio are in dire straits at the moment.
Guys, we got 31 minutes.
we think the cleats are going to a player coming on, or are we switching cleats? Or
I'm not sure.
little
Not sure what's
wardrobe
going on.
change.
Maybe too
You ever
much-
seen a wardrobe change in the middle of a game, Ben?
Maybe too much turf in the socks, my only guess.
He's got him back on, it looks like, so
Oh,
we'll
tying
keep
him as
going.
quick as he can.
But like I was saying, if I'm an Iowa forward right now, the last thing I want to be doing is scrumming down. With the challenges we're having, clean scrum there for us.
Good loop play. This is an overload
Looking to
opportunity
find
for Iowa.
space.
He's
Sunday
got
coming
Jacob
up on the
Sunday
support
outside.
line.
Is brought down, manages to get the offload right before it.
Oh, if I'm Iowa, I'm coming back weak side here. Yep.
Yep.
And that's what we'll do. See if he can get there.
Oh,
he
just
gets
not
pulled
fast
out.
enough. Iowa's fly half almost catches the edge on that overload. But it was actually it was a flanker for Ohio who probably used up every bit of juice in the burners he had to just barely drag him into touch. Saved his team a try on that one. So it looks like it's going to be Ohio line out here, just around the 10-meter mark in their own territory.
I'd imagine we'll see a clearing kickoff of this here.
Certainly appears so.
Mishandled
Mishandled
line
ball.
out. Iowa
Iowa's
gets
got
that.
it.
Oh, that 8-man.
Gathered
Did
by.
he get there?
Oh, I think he went
Did
down
he get
short.
there?
The call. It is a try.
That Iowa 8-man.
Almost held up short,
Yes.
but manages to gather the ball out of the line out and
He's
bring it in
been a-
himself.
He's been a good hard runner all day.
And Iowa is hyped about that one.
That's a good big man forward try. That's something I love to see.
And now we look for the conversion here to put Iowa in the lead by 2 points. As right now it is tied up 19-19 for the kickback.
I don't have enough fingers.
We'll line up for the kick here. And flags go up.
2 more points for Iowa as they take the lead in the game.
A 21-19 game here. Iowa takes the lead here 21-19. Oh, I don't think that's Again, we won't say our time is official. We definitely won't say our time's official, but the only clock we go off of is that yellow-shirted gentleman in the center of the field. Ohio kick to restart it here. That Iowa 8-man, we'll see if he can get moving with a full head of steam.
You know he just wants to carry this himself.
And he's been doing a great job finding meters, chewing up defenders.
I don't know why I even bothered giving a dummy there, because everybody knew that he wanted to run that into himself.
A great counter-ruck attempt here by Ohio, but Iowa gets the penalty here.
Looks like Iowa's 8-man's complaining a bit to the side judge. Seems he's claiming there's a little extracurriculars going on. And
Time's
the
off here.
touch judge, time off is called as the touch judge calls the sir over. I think he saw something that the Iowa 8-man was complaining about. And looks
Ben,
like
in a-
somebody from Ohio's in trouble here.
In a tight game like this here, Ben, what are you saying to your team to keep them calm?
Don't be stupid is usually the big thing. I mean, pushing somebody over is just not worth getting a yellow card and losing your team a game, potentially losing your team the game.
The wise words of Ben Deegan, ladies and gentlemen.
Pushing someone over doesn't even really hurt them that much. It doesn't get the outcome you want. Looks like they're just getting a warning. And it was Iowa's penalty anyway, so they will be getting the ball back right there. And they're going to be going for touch here. That's another
Big
great
boot
kick.
here. I want to shout out all those Midwest volunteers or paid people. I'm not sure if they're paid or volunteering, but chasing these balls that get kicked to touch, chasing these balls that get kicked over posts, allowing us to keep the game moving. Shout out to them. Not a job I want today.
You would not shut up because I was going to pop my
Luckily, it's
Line
not
out
too hard.
here. Ohio steals the Iowa line out.
But you did.
Didn't quite take the wind into account of that one. It is blowing towards the Ohio goal.
I want my good Christian Chick-fil-A.
As Eric Frown is shooting up here on defense, but they managed to spin it. Damn!
Oh, and
And
another
another
mishandled
mishandled
ball. Can Sunday get there? Ball finds touch, but it'll still be Iowa possession here.
And again, I think Ohio had a 3-on-1 there,
They did.
and they mishandled the ball. And now all of a sudden, Iowa's at the 22 with a line out.
Knocking on the door.
Another chance to score here.
You can hear these Iowa players hyping each other up, looking to keep that momentum moving. With going into the lead in a game this tight, you'll take everything you can get. Big line out here by Iowa.
And
They'll go right into that loose head prop.
They said, we want to keep possession.
We do. See what we can draw up here.
And these are a couple good runs by the Iowa forwards to start this drive off. A back-end pass to Jacob Sunday, covered well by Ohio. And a tremendous job rucking for Iowa. As we get it to the prop on the side here,
A whistle blown. Forward
pass called by
Iowa.
the AR on the
And that
sideline
kills a
here.
little bit of momentum here.
I like the attempt though.
I do.
It was smart ball, nothing too risky, just a little bit too far forward on that.
Getting a little excited, seeing space there, seeing the mismatch. And hear that
8-man.
Iowa 8-man, yeah.
Hyping up his team for the scrum.
He's earned it. He's earned it.
Ohio stacking all their players to the wide side of the field, looking to use that space.
Iowa's got a new scrum half in the game here.
Looks like Ohio's former fullback, number 15, went into scrum half for them.
So a double scrum half change here. Julian Hall hanging on with dear life, gets him to the ground. Ohio eating up meters here little by little.
I'm not sure I super like the depth from Iowa's fullback. There we go. Now we're dropping into keeper coverage, and it looks like another line break opportunity here.
Sunday
Stopped by
wraps
Jacob
him up,
Sunday.
gets up quick.
Another well-covered ball by Ohio. Their scrum half tries to pick and go, gets wrapped up.
Ohio moving that ball into the back line.
And that is a sloppy pass
They'll come back for a penalty here.
from Ohio there. But it looks like they had the advantage, so that's the best time to make the sloppy passes.
Looks like an offside call on Iowa.
And looks like Ohio will be going for touch again.
See if they can find it here with the wind coming at them.
And that one's well in touch.
Does indeed find touch.
here. I wonder if a penalty against Iowa would lead you to go for a kick for 3 points. They are only down by 2 at the moment, and scoring has been pretty difficult for both teams, even with the opportunities they've had. I wonder if you just look to try and take some points here. As Ohio has the ball right around the middle of the field. About 30, 22 meters out-ish. Switching ball back and forth across the field, trying to find a weakness in this Iowa defense.
Maybe a drop goal here, Becky.
And there is a pick and go by the Ohio scrum half. That number 15 again.
Ohio 15 really carrying the team today.
Looks like the switching
Smart
back and
rugby
forth
player.
between the field.
Yes.
Iowa just did not set their post defenders in time and left an
Was able to
open
find
gap.
a gap. Yep.
Unfortunate for Iowa there. Ohio will regain the lead.
And a reminder, our time not official. We'll go by the watch of the yellow-shirted gentleman on the field here. And the flags go up on that kick. So that's score right now. Ohio 24, Iowa 21.
We think there's around 65 minutes into the game. So about 10 to 15 minutes left, somewhere in that range.
But if you're Iowa, you can't keep having these costly mistakes here. He made the kick, yeah.
So with that conversion, they're now up 5. Iowa still has the chance to go ahead with a try and the conversion afterwards.
If I'm Iowa here, I'm doing everything I can to set my team up. Get that turnover and see if we can't find some kind of spark here on offense.
That ball's mishandled off the kick return. Iowa gets pretty good field position to start this kickoff.
Iowa spends a lot of time on defense here in this game, so we'll
And
see.
here comes a clearing kick. No, a keeper actually. And a enormous skip pass all the way to the wing. Seems like it might work. Players bang into the fence, but they managed to stay in touch, or in bounds. And get another line break here for Ohio. He's looking to offload it. Doesn't see anybody in time, and we managed to bring him down.
Iowa playing a little bit of scramble defense here. Sunday.
And Ohio has advantage, I think, for offsides. If you're Iowa, you're praying for an Ohio mistake right now.
Stripped ball by Iowa, but coming back for that penalty. Looks like they'll kick for touch here, Ohio might. Running some clock.
And that is right in touch. Ohio looking for an aggressive line out here. And if you're Iowa, you got to be careful. I know you want to play aggressive D, but we saw in that possession right there that Ohio has the capability and vision to throw those big skip passes and find those options.
And find their quick guys out on the edge.
As it looks like they've moved 15 from scrum half back to fullback again, I believe. So he's been playing all over the field today.
A man of many talents, it would seem.
And that is mishandled by Ohio. It's going to be Iowa possession.
Iowa penalty here as well. We'll see what Iowa can do to
You gotta
get
be
some
smart
momentum
here if
coming
you're
our
Iowa.
way.
That's another monster kick.
Big kick in the touch here.
We'll see where they mark this out at. But that looks like a territory gain of almost 50 meters.
Wow. That's huge if you're Iowa.
That is a field flipper if I've ever seen one.
Now it'll come down to winning our line out, figuring out how to capitalize, staying calm.
If you're Iowa, you need a try here. You can't settle for 3 points
And not.
because you don't know the next time you're going to be back in this good position.
They'll go quick to that front man.
And looks like a free
Iowa
kick.
Penalty.
Free kick given to Ohio. Not sure what occurred, but something in the line out there. And
That's costly if you're Iowa.
looks like Iowa wasn't back 10, so Ohio still has penalty advantage here. Off and offsides. And Ohio
Good
maybe looking
decision
for
there.
and that's
This guy was dangerous
Break.
last time down here.
and that's a strong counter ruck by Lucas Powley. Causes a dirty ball, but
Gets
Ohio,
back in that tackle.
Ohio still manages to gather. That was a good tackle by Lucas Powley and a good attempt at a poach.
Another,
Ohio's back up
another
fly
attempt
half.
at the step there.
He's got some moves on him. As Ohio goes to the weak side here. And once again gains advantage, I believe off and offsides again. So Iowa's really playing dangerously here.
There's
Yep, and that 15
again.
wants to keep that ball real bad.
Gets that penalty there off of a, and we'll get a little stoppage of maybe a little bit of foul play here.
Looks like the ref just wants to have a word with Iowa on that one.
Staying calm. Can't lose your head coming down.
I sympathize with the big man. It's really hard not to get a high tackle called on you.
You trying to
Tackling someone about 2 feet shorter than you.
Looks like Lucas Powley subbing out. Iowa making a switch out fullback here. So we'll see what Ohio's got off of this penalty.
Looks like they moved their fly half to fullback.
Jacob Sunday dropping back as well.
There's a long kick out of bounds. Not a ton of meters gained for Ohio there. But again, they have possession.
Coming down to the end of this game here, if you're Iowa, you can't be giving up this fight. Knowing the game is as close as it is, if I'm Iowa's captain, I'm rallying my guys here.
I think they had about 3 penalties that last possession. And you just got to know that if you give up one of those now and they kick for post, it's a
Yes,
2-score game.
That's almost going to seal it there.
So you got to play real smart defense here.
See what Iowa can do on defense here.
Good strong tackling, but Ohio's covering their own rucks well. If you're Iowa, you do have to look to attempt a poach here, especially when you catch a scrummy pick and go like that.
Good attempt there.
And Ohio has penalty advantage again. Off of another offsides.
Costly penalty here by Iowa.
It is far enough in the corner that Ohio may elect not to kick for points.
We'll see this 15 here from Ohio.
Looks like
Directing traffic a little bit.
they are going to go for another line out.
You've almost got to think here. Another try by Ohio off this line out might seal this game here.
I think any points for Ohio is going to seal it at this point.
See what Iowa can do again.
As that is a pretty great kick by Ohio, giving them a line out at about the 5-meter line.
Iowa held strong in that first half with their backs against the wall here on defense. See what they can.
I wonder if we might see our first attempt at a maul here.
Ooh.
Just with how Ohio has been scrumming, I assume they're probably also pretty good at mauling. But we'll see what they attempt here. They are going for the maul. Iowa's going to have to hold. They're giving up ground.
Good drive here by Ohio.
Iowa here, you've got to find the ball carrier and latch onto that thing. And that is a try.
They will get the try off the maul.
Well executed by Ohio.
That's smart rugby. That's just smart rugby there.
Well played rugby.
Knowing situationally where you're at the field, knowing that you've been out driving Iowa
And
pretty solidly all game.
that is going to be difficult to come back from late in the game for Iowa.
See who steps up here in these final minutes of the game for Iowa. Game's not over till the ref blows that final whistle. See who keeps leading the charge here in these final minutes. I'm always a fan of a maul try. A maul try is a little satisfying.
It does. I wish we got more maul
satisfying.
tries.
A little less satisfying when it's scored against you, but you got to tip your cap to a maul try. Sunday will come and try and block that kick, but it will find the posts.
And that's going to make it 33-21 in favor of Ohio. 2-score game.
Not an overcomable lead, but if you're Iowa, we can't be making any mistakes, no mishandles, no penalties, no sloppy rugby here coming down these final minutes.
You're going to need a quick try if you want to stay in this one if you're Iowa.
So now it'll come down to who on this Iowa side is going to step up and lead this charge. We've seen the Iowa 8-man putting in some work. We've seen Sunday putting in some work.
That's where my eyes would be. I'm looking.
Sunday.
If I'm on Iowa, I'm looking to get the ball to Jacob Sunday's hands.
Seeing what he can do, what kind of space he can get going.
And I'm hoping he makes 4 guys look stupid and me look really smart.
As an Iowa fan, Ben, I'm hoping you're right. Sunday will kick it off here.
That is a deep, deep kick. And over the head of the defender.
Ohio.
I think he might have touched it.
A great chase by that Iowa 8-man. Oh, a beautiful tackle here.
And
That's the Iowa scrum half making that big hit.
Big tackle on a big man.
Wow.
And
Iowa's got him pinned deep
looking
here.
for a turnover around the
Lots
5-meter
of momentum
line.
here.
Eric Frana getting his hands on the ball, not able to strip it away. Ohio rushes a kick to clear it. It is gathered by Iowa right around the 15, 22-meter line-ish.
If I'm an Iowa player on the field, I'm screaming, hang on to that ball, play possession right now. Can't have any costly mistakes. Owen McGuffin looking for space. Oh, and finds touch.
And speak of the devil, and he may come, Anna.
He might.
Immediately after we say it, commentators curse. A mishandled ball by Iowa and an attempted offload. And there goes a lot of momentum that we almost had built up there.
You can feel the air come out of this open stadium.
I felt everybody get excited when that clearing kick only went about 10 meters.
The communal groan from the Iowa fans. But again, game's not over till that final whistle blows. We'll see who's going to keep fighting all 80 minutes here.
I would imagine.
But you know it's coming down.
I would imagine Ohio's going to look to clear this one again, or possibly just recycle ball over and over again. They're not even going to try to make line breaks.
Chew that clock. If you're Iowa, you're trying to get a penalty here. You're trying to find some kind of mistake.
And there's the clearing kick. Does not get blocked, but it goes straight out.
Touch.
The Iowa line out. But there goes another minute off the clock.
Yes. Again, our clock not official. But can't say that there's too much time left here for Iowa. See what they can convert off of this line out here. You can hear the Iowa coach on the sideline here rallying his players to finish this game out.
And that is a lost
Another
line
Ohio.
out for Iowa. And that is a tough mistake at this point in the game.
A little slippery out on that field, it would seem, coming down these final minutes.
And there is a penalty to Ohio. Looks like Iowa.
We're getting a little scrappy here coming down the end.
Looks like they got stuck in the ruck, but they quickly shake hands. Nothing meant by it.
That 15 looking to go quick there, playing a little bit of a mind game here on Iowa. Yeah, both teams having been warned already for foul play. You can't be too surprised about a yellow card coming out of the Stars' pocket.
Did he?
He did warn Iowa earlier this half. Yeah, he just yellow carded. That number 16 will come off for Iowa. That's definitely a momentum killer here.
And I think Ohio will just take this opportunity to try to get their own line out and then recycle ball about 10 times in a row and kick it out.
That ball might come straight for us. And
That stays in.
that's a beautiful play by Jacob Sunday here.
Catches the ball midair and passes it
Just
backwards to keep it in.
massive rugby IQ there to know where you are at situationally on the field. Staying in the air and getting that ball back in, that's a big momentum shift here for Iowa. We'll see what they can do to capitalize off of it.
As smart of a move by Jacob Sunday as that is, I think it's as equally dumb of a move as Ohio. I don't know why you even attempt to kick that ball forward and leave a chance that it even stays in bounds. You should kick it backwards just to make sure it's your line out. Meanwhile, Ohio does regain the ball.
A little bit of sloppy play coming down here.
And right here, they're just going to be content with some quick balls to the forwards,
Chew that clock and
tackle, ruck, recycle. And that is
Iowa penalty here.
not a good enough job rucking for him, as Jacob Sunday's looking to take
go
it quick,
quick.
sides against it. As we are getting close to 80 minutes, does decide to go with the tap and go.
Based off that decision, you must believe this has got to be close to the final play, and that's a costly Iowa penalty.
And you can't have those off the first carry on a penalty. That your ruckers are not there in time, and you immediately turn it over.
Trying to find any kind of momentum here coming down to the end of this game. Gotta believe clock's getting close to double zeros here.
And
Let
that's
Ohio
another kick stays in, but this time
not so much success here by Sunday. Oh, it does find touch.
does actually just touch his feet down before he saves that one.
Impressive effort by Sunday. You got to commend his effort in this game.
But again, my goal as Ohio is not to gain territory at this
No
point. It is
possession.
to keep possession of the ball. And they're playing with fire a little bit.
Can only do that so many times before you get burned. That may have been a little cheesy for a rugby stream. I'm so sorry, everyone. That's all right. We're out here. We're having fun. And it'll be a free kick here for Iowa off of this line out.
Unsure what the penalty was there by Ohio, but Iowa gets the ball, and they're going to toe and go it. Let's see what they got cooked up.
Eric Frana.
Eric Frana.
Eric Frana.
Old man with a strong
He's got
run.
it.
Gets the ball out. Not a lot of space to work with here.
Is that Iowa 8-man again? Iowa penalty here.
Iowa gets a penalty. They should go quick here, but they a little bit too much walking around as time is off
For an injured Ohio
for an
player.
injured player on Ohio here. I know it's not the nicest thing to do there, but if I'm Iowa and I saw that, I would have tried to take it quick so that time could not be stopped and you could play with a man advantage. But now Ohio will have a chance to sub out the player.
Trainer. You stay on the floor. 23, stay on the floor.
And as the trainer is called over, we will take a short pause here and be back just for the end of this game. In just a couple minutes, hopefully.
Here she comes. It's the girl right here.
looks like
He's jogging off the field on his own. And it looks like they're just about to put time back on here to wrap up this Iowa men's versus Ohio men's select side game. And there's the toe and go. Time is back on.
Sunday
And
there
Jacob Sunday with a line break here.
is so quick.
Turning on the Jets.
Makes a man miss on that sideline, but
Just barely gets a foot down on the line.
looks
and
like
touch.
a knock forward of some kind.
Oh, lost
Ref
possession
signals,
actually.
Ref signals on knock.
Broke the tackle but was not able to keep the ball in hand, unfortunately. Back to an Ohio scrum here. Another great run by Jacob Sunday that has
He's
not been able to be converted into points for Iowa.
He's been all over this field today. A little bit of commotion here in that scrum, so Sir will pull it back, call it up, reset it, and hit it again.
And looks like Ohio has no problem winning their own scrum here. They shift it out to the fly half. Gives a crash ball to the out center.
Mishandled.
And Iowa's got another scoring opportunity here before the game's over.
We'll see if this one will be a little bit of a pride score here. Take that momentum into the. Oh no! Oh no! A knock ball here. Sir's gonna come back for a scrum.
That ball almost picked off, but Iowa had the advantage anyway.
See if Iowa can't find a score here to take into Sunday with them.
There's a light one in here.
I'd like to see this 8-man pick and go off the back of this scrum again. He's been finding a lot of success doing that.
I'd almost guarantee you that's what he's looking for. There it
There
goes.
he goes.
Manages to beat the flanker, gets the ball outside. 21 and Julian
Hall with the try.
is the benefactor of a pretty good backline play there. Manages to dot himself down.
Iowa going quick here, so there must be a little bit of time left on this clock here still.
Iowa looking for a quick kick. And I have to imagine they're going to go for a short kick here, hoping to get their own possession back.
We'll see. No good on the kick. Still some time left on the clock here, so we'll see. A one-score game here.
There's a 7-point game.
Iowa could tie it up. We'll see what they can find here.
Apologies, my bad. Iowa receives the kick.
See if Iowa can't tie this game up.
I believe time's very close to expired,
Yes.
so they're going to need to do their absolute best. A knock or going into touch will end the game, as well as a turnover in which Ohio kicks it out of bounds.
You have to remember that yellow card earlier in this half, Iowa's playing a man down still.
That they are.
So that try coming with 14 players is huge. We'll see what they can find here.
They would probably really love the 15th right about now.
Oh, yes. This will all come down to disciplined rugby.
They're going to have to play very
Playing
smart. Nothing, no turnovers, no knocks, smart passes.
I'm telling every one of my guys to hold on to this ball here.
Hold on to the ball and find a gap. As this when we get out to the wing.
Does he have the speed? Ball is
and the ball
knocked forward.
went forward, and
That is
game.
it.
A good attempt by Iowa at the end there. Well defended by Ohio. And that will be our final score. 33 Ohio, 26 Iowa.
If I'm Iowa, I'm not hanging my head on this game. They didn't give up, kept fighting. A little bit of a sloppy game of rugby on both sides. A lot of drop balls, a lot of scrums, but
Yep.
Definitely
Well,
some positives to take into the
B-side
game
boys
tomorrow.
will be back streaming, I believe, the men's and the
We'll
women's
see.
game.
We'll see what happens.
I'm sure Ryan will post something. Thank you guys all for watching.
Check out the B-side boys on socials to see what games we'll get going tomorrow and what time we'll get going. But yeah, this was fun.